innovative, minded. This is Top Politics, guys. And I don't want to be separate any Tuesday. So I'm glad we're not. I'm glad you're here. And we're going to be pretty creative and open-minded. We got PJ Agness, who's a intelligence, martial artists, and of course, SOSLAND Temanson is going to be talking about his wonderful podcast, which involves Christianity churches. But, we can all come together for the common good, guys, because we have common enemies and common bonds. So enjoy the podcast, guys. Let me know. Chat's open. But here's the pre-video, because, I always do that. Check me out.
Affirmative, and the bill, as amended, is passed. All right, everybody. After 24 hours or so of work on this bill, Vice President Harris there, separation from each other.
Zawahiri's death, the biggest blow to al-Qaeda since the U.S. killed its founder Osama bin Laden in 2011, came after he had been in hiding for years, rumored to have been in Pakistan's tribal area or inside Afghanistan. Speaking on condition of anonymity, the official laid out the details, starting with how the U.S. government had been aware of a network that supported Zawahiri. Over the past year, following the U.S.'s withdrawal from Afghanistan, officials had been watching for indications of al-Qaeda's presence in the country. This year, they confirmed that Zawahiri's family, his wife, his daughter, and her children had relocated to a sanctuary in Kabul. Zawahiri was later identified at the same location.
Hey guys, this is Tommy
Once
with
at the
Tommy
safe
Nation
house,
Politics.
Zawahiri stayed
How's everyone
put
doing today?
and was identified multiple times on the balcony of the house. By April, President Joe Biden was briefed by National Security Advisor
Biden is evil.
So 25 years after the 1994 crime bill was enacted, we are still having conversations about the import and significance of the bill.
That 1994 crime bill, it did contribute to mass incarceration in our country.
It's important that people remember the context of the political environment in the early 1990s.
The other big piece of legislation on Capitol Hill tonight is the crime bill.
Now, violent crime peaked in 1991, and the drafters of the bill didn't know that in 1993 and 1994 when they were drafting and signing it. Urban areas, urban cities across the country were ravaged by crack cocaine, and Americans were afraid of crime. The 1994 crime bill was signed by President Bill Clinton. This was a pretty significant bill at the time, and President Clinton and Senator Biden at the time were right that the bill was significant.
The most significant federal effort to deal with violent crime in America that has ever been undertaken.
Huge amounts of funding to hire cops. 100,000 cops were funded. It was about $14 million at the time. $12 billion that was authorized for states across the country that would enact what's called truth in sentencing laws. That funding literally paid states to increase the number of prison beds that they allocated for individuals convicted of violent crime in this country to serve 85% of their sentences behind bars. The reason that provision is so important, and the reason we're still talking about it today, is the federal government essentially subsidized states across the country to build more prisons.
Free thinking, innovative, and totally open-minded.
Who are these people?
Tommy Nation Politics. Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics.
A free-thinking, innovative, open-minded environment. Be advised. This is the Tommy Nation Politics.
This is such an important day in the history of our country because it gives us an opportunity to do something that the President, the First Lady, and others in this nation have been praying for and talking about for a long time. And I'd like to take a moment before presenting the President to acknowledge some of the people here with us who have contributed so greatly to getting this crime bill passed. Members of the President's cabinet went all out. Secretary Lloyd Benson, Attorney General Janet Reno, Secretary Bruce Babbitt, Secretary Donna Shalala, Secretary Henry Cisneros, Secretary Federico Pena, Secretary Hazel O'Leary, Chief of Staff Leon Panetta, Chair of the Council of Economic Advisors Laura Tyson, Director Lee Brown, Acting Director Alice Rivlin. They're all here. They all worked extremely hard as part of the team in the executive branch to get this passed. And behind each one of them is a large team of dedicated men and women who have made our part in this possible. Now, the people who have really done more than anybody else, with the exception of the President, I want to single out for special recognition the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, who has fought tirelessly for this bill for 6 long years, Senator Joe Biden. Would you stand, Senator Joe Biden? Joe, your wait is almost over. You're going to see the president's signature in just a few minutes. Of course, his terrific, outstanding counterpart, Chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Congressman Jack Brooks. Would you stand, Mr. Chairman?
Violent crime and the fear it provokes are crippling our society. The crime bill before Congress gives you a chance to do something about it, a chance to be tough and smart.
We need to examine the crime bill and all of the federal bills that galvanized prison spending, that galvanized more arrest, more incarceration, and we need to look to the future. And today, the United States leads the world in terms of incarceration. In fact, if each state were its own country, 23 states would have the highest incarceration rate in the world. Any candidate running for election who's serious about criminal justice reform, who's serious about cutting the prison population by 50%, needs to take a hard look at what has worked and hasn't worked in terms of our past criminal justice policies and understand that federal funding to increase the number of beds in prisons across the country.
Without these two men, there would never have been a bill worth debating, much less a finished product that's going to receive the signature of our president.
Final verdict is 9 years of imprisonment of the 9 million rubles penalty in the penal colony. And she will serve her term from the day of the announcement of this verdict, and time when she was behind bars from the 18th of February 2022 will be included in the overall term.
I want to single out what, in my opinion, is the best leadership the Congress has ever had. I want to ask to stand Speaker of the House Tom Foley, Senate Majority Leader George Mitchell, and House Majority Leader Richard Gephardt. They made the difference in this legislation. They labored for an effective compromise between the House and Senate that didn't compromise the principles important to the success of this bill. I want to acknowledge also House Majority Whip David Bonnier and Congressman Bill Richardson for leading the whip operation, which rounded up the votes on this. And a few other individuals in the Congress who everybody knows played such a key role. Congressman Chuck Schumer, who did so much to write this bill and help get it passed. And I want to single out for special thanks Senator Dianne Feinstein, who was a tremendous force behind the assault weapon ban. I want to also single out two members of the House who made an invaluable contribution to making this the kind of bipartisan effort that it had to be in order for the American people to secure their wishes. Congressman Mike Castle and Congressman Christopher Shays. Thank you both. Gentlemen, America appreciates your statesmanship on this legislation. And may I also single out in the same phrase with that word statesmanship, Senator Kassebaum, Senator Specter, Senator Chafee, Senator Danforth, Senator Roth, and Senator Jeffords. We are grateful to them for their courage in making today possible. We want to thank all of the members of the House and Senate who have made this day possible, many who I'm not singling out personally, but you know who they are, and we're grateful to them.
And feel the impacts Some of the things they'll find quite quickly, and some of the things will take a longer time.
The legislation now heads to the U.S. House with a vote expected on Friday.
And still, some people in this town tried to keep this day from happening.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics.
But today, at last, the waiting ends.
As a result, it is my view that if a Supreme Court justice resigns tomorrow or within the next several weeks, or resigns at the end of the summer, President Bush should consider following the practice of a majority of his predecessors and not name a nominee until after the November election is completed. The Senate, too, Mr. President, must consider how it would respond to a Supreme Court vacancy that would occur in the full throes of an election year.
Today, the bickering stops. The era of excuses is over. The law-abiding citizens of our country have made their voices heard. Never again should Washington put politics and party above law and order.
Now, I'm going to point out some specific things, 6 of them, that we find inadequate about the President's plan. I think the President has to join us in making a significantly greater commitment to these 6 areas to stem the rising tide of violence in America, and that's what it is, violence. First, we have to join together to ensure that drug dealers are punished swiftly, surely, and severely. And in line with what the President is calling for, we have to hold every drug user accountable. Because if there were no drug users, there would be no appetite for drugs and there'd be no market for them. Let's take a look at what the real problem is. It's not just how many people are using drugs. As the President said, the number of people using drugs, cocaine in particular, is down in our country. That's true. But the violence associated with drugs is spewing out all over America, and that's terrible. I know it's hard to believe, but this very day, violent drug offenders will commit more than 100,000 crimes on this day alone. And the sad part is that we have no more police in the streets of our major cities than we had 10 years ago. And what the President proposes won't help much. What he proposes is no increase over what the Congress has already approved last year. In a nutshell, the President's plan doesn't include enough police officers to catch the violent thugs, not enough prosecutors to convict them, not enough judges to sentence them, and not enough prison cells to put them away for a long time. That's why right now, 6 out of every 10 criminals who are arrested on drug charges have their cases dropped. That's why we think the President should triple the commitment that he's made tonight for police, prosecutors, and judges for our cities and our states.
We have some breaking news, and the former US President Donald Trump is claiming his home has been raided by the FBI. According to Mr. Trump, FBI agents searched his Mar-a-Lago residence in Palm Beach, Florida. The former president has expressed his anger at the raid, and in a statement he said it is prosecutorial misconduct, the weaponisation of the justice system, and an attack by the radical left Democrats who desperately don't want me to run for president in 2024.
So ain't this a bitch? Yeah. Yep. Ain't this a bitch? America's heroes who fought in our wars outside sweating their asses off with oxygen, battling all kinds of ailments, while these motherfuckers sit in the air conditioning, walled off from any of it. They don't have to hear it. They don't have to see it. They don't have to understand that these are human beings. Do you get it yet? Do we see that these aren't heroes? These are men and women, mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers that we just let stand outside in the heat when they can't breathe. I'm going to read you something. This is beautiful. I'm going to read you something beautiful. You know what? I said a curse word, and I'm sorry about that. That was my fault. Let me say something beautiful. This is a tweet from Senator Rick Scott of Florida from yesterday. It's beautiful. And I'm sorry about the cursing, and let me say something beautiful to make it up to you. I was honored to join the USO today and make care packages for our brave military members in gratitude of their sacrifice and service to our nation. And there's a beautiful picture. I wish you could see it. He's standing with a little package. Did you get the package? I think it has M&Ms in it and some cookies and some moist towelettes. I don't even know, honestly, I don't even know what to say. I've been coming down here 10, 15 years. I'm used to the hypocrisy. Christina Keene will tell you from VFW. She sat in an office with Mitch McConnell and a war veteran from Kentucky, and he looked that man in the eyes and he said, we'll get it done. And he lied to him.
They're out in front of my house, but you're not giving me away, right, John? No. And it didn't. So we had enormous success. Now what's happened is we've cut the funding 85%. We've gone out there and we're going through Baltimore now. Look at the areas we're going through here. I'll lay you 8 to 5. The Baltimore Police Department is considerably smaller than it was in 1985. There are things I would change. I opposed, for example, the carjacking provision that the administration wanted in. But by and large, what it really did, it restored American cities.
Because Mitch McConnell yesterday flipped. I'm used to the lies. I'm used to the hypocrisy. Senator Pat Toomey won't take a meeting with the veterans group.
As the conflict between Israel and the Palestinian militant group Islamic Jihad escalates, follows intense Israeli airstrikes in Gaza, which killed a second senior leader of the Islamic Jihad group. Khaled Mansour was considered the most important man in the armed wing of the organisation. Well, these are the latest images of the airstrikes. A total of at least 29 Palestinians, some of them children, are now reported to have been killed in this latest outbreak of violence.
I'm used to the cowardice. I've been here a long time. Senate's where accountability goes to die. These people don't care. They're never losing their jobs. They're never losing their health care. Pat Toomey didn't lose his job. He's walking away. God knows what kind of pot of gold he's stepping into.
Than Donald Trump.
To lobby this government to shit on more
lies and violence to keep himself in power after the voters had rejected him. He is a coward. A real man wouldn't lie to his supporters. He lost his election, and he lost big. I know it, he knows it, and deep down, I think most Republicans know it. Lynn and I are so proud of Liz for standing up for the truth, doing what's right, honoring her oath to the Constitution.
And it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff.
It sucks when you finally feel like giving up. Oh God, no luck. Everything feels like you're sticky stuck. I'm lost, handcuffed to the bed where I sleep. Don't give a fuck, can't stop. Unplug, feeling overwhelmed. I think I've had enough. Gotta find a way to get some energy. Gotta find someone who's a good friend of me. I need purpose to make it all worth it. I'm still searching and I'm still learning. I want a life that's filled with memories, not a life with regret in front of me. I need focus to keep me from hopeless psychosis if I keep moping.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff.
Am I on? I can't tell. I can't tell because Brittany Grender's face is in my way. This is Tommy Politics. How's it going, guys? PJ, Agness, Archangel Intelligence and Security, and we've got SOSLAND Temanson again. Welcome back, welcome back, SOSLAND. Welcome to the show. Okay.
Thank you.
JAMARR's sick today, guys, so I'm gonna go right into it because we've got a lot to talk about today, and I want to get your opinions on some things because I have my own opinions. You probably know, but I do want to share something with you guys real quickly. I want to. I just want to say that my pre-video was about. It was about how this guy who expanded the police state, and now we have the #1 penal colony in the entire world. Even though Michael Ray was appointed by Trump, you see how dogs that are hungry, they don't care about loyalty. They care about this. August 8th, jury finds Henderson County man guilty of trafficking methamphetamines. August 5th, court finds arraignments for people doing cocaine, rich people doing cocaine. August 5th, Albuquerque drug trafficker sentenced to 17 years. The drugs, guys, it's the drugs and the violence. It's the super predators. No conscience, no empathy. This man, Joe Biden, has given the FBI everything it's ever wanted. It's unleashed. He's unleashed the FBI. And so my first question to both of you is, how does it feel? I don't know if you're a conservative or liberal or whatever you are, PJ, but how does it feel to know that your dog's not loyal? Your institution, the FBI, is not loyal to you? What do you think?
Well,
SOSLAND, you're on.
The FBI,
I know for sure. What do you think?
The FBI was never loyal to me. From the beginning of the FBI, from the founding of the FBI with J. Edgar Hoover, it was a power-hungry institution that was weaponized against the establishment's political opponents. You unfortunately cannot ask Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. about that, but he had a lot of experience in this area. This is not anything new. Since and I will be honest that I do not know anyone in the FBI. I do not know anyone associated with the FBI. I know a lot of people associated with the CIA. Formerly, I don't know anyone currently in that institution. And the forerunner of the CIA was the Office of Strategic Services, the OSS. I am a member of a organization dedicated to preserving the memory of the OSS. And at the beginning of the OSS was a guy named Bill Donovan, who founded that organization. He had a political fight with J. Edgar Hoover, because J. Edgar Hoover wanted the FBI to be the premier intelligence gathering apparatus for the United States, and really wanted to form an American Gestapo with limitless power. And I can tell you from what I have heard, the FBI really, and the CIA, really identifies itself as the source of power in the United States. They feel that presidents are elected for 4 years, but they're a permanent institution, and they really can influence power, and they really are the United States government.
So let me stop you right there, because I agree with everything you just said. We just got a comment that things are choppy. So am I choppy? Jimbo 7. Am I choppy, SOSLAND? Can you hear me? Okay. Am I choppy?
I can hear you.
Guys, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Am I being heard?
Yes.
I hear you
Can you hear me?
perfectly.
All right, thank God. Y'all weren't responding. I was like, what the fuck? SOSLAND, can you hear me or what?
Yes, I can hear you.
I think something's wrong with SOSLAND's mic. So basically, guys, so PJ, I agree with everything you just said. I just had to stop and make sure. Yeah, I was just making sure that we could all hear each other, because like I don't like it live streams where we go 30 minutes without that shit. But so PJ, so this is a thing that's really, I agree with you. How can we solve this issue? A, and B, what do you think about the Republicans who've been protecting this issue for so long? Say defund the FBI. What do you think about Marjorie Taylor Greene and defunding the FBI? Was that funny to me as well?
The Republicans and the Democrats are part of the same establishment. I do not care what a Republican says or what a Democrat says. They have both benefited from the FBI as a weapon, and they like it when it is their weapon, but they do not like it when it is weaponized against them. When you give a politician a weapon, when you give the president a weapon, when you give the government a weapon, you really need to think about what will happen when the other side gets that weapon, because it will happen. Think about what your least favorite government official, your least favorite elected politician.
I mean, they're all so fucking horrible. It's hard to pick which one's most horrible. See, that's the funny thing, is they don't think about this, PJ, because they're on the same side, and it harkens back to the fact that they don't care. Remember who was giving the resolution powers to George W. Bush during the Iraq War? It was Joseph Biden on the Arms Committee. So they go hand in hand, and they've just gotten hand in hand with. It's funny, they've done this inflation reduction bill. Have y'all had time to look at that at all? I've been reading it.
Yes.
753 pages. It's
Yeah, that's
literally.
exactly.
I can't find anything that's a reduction of inflation. I don't see anything inflation related. I'm on page 300 though. There could be in the last page. It's all just we're going to negotiate Medicare fares with our donors, our pharmaceutical company. We're going to not legalize or criminalize marijuana. There's nothing about this. These Democrats. This Joe Biden president is like, He's the antithesis of hypocrisy. Going after Brittany Griner, why? Because we have people in jail for smoking marijuana here. Tulsi Gabbard nailed it. What is the motivation of this president? I don't even understand. SOSLAND, do you understand the motivation? I want to hear you talk. Talk now.
Okay. Yes, sweet. Can you hear me now? All right, Tommy, can you hear me?
Okay, I don't think you can talk. What is the president's motivation on this, bro?
Tommy,
what is he trying to do? I know he's not really in
Tommy?
charge, but he has to have an agenda. He has a doctrine, right? They all have doctrines. You get, Monroe's doctrine, isolationism. Yeah, what's
I
that?
can hear SOSLAND just fine. I can hear him speaking. He's
Oh, I
trying, they're trying to silence him.
You think they're trying to silence him?
I think the
I can't hear him.
Biden administration is watching this dude trying to silence him.
I mean, that's I need evidence for this. Besides just a mic. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Why would so Fuzzy says it's not his motivation. It's Obama part 3. Yes, and so Obama's masters were Jamie Dimon and Goldman Sachs and the military industrial complex. So it makes sense. It makes sense that this deep state is in cahoots with it. So who do you think this is going to benefit? The Republicans or the Democrats in the midterms?
I think that it will probably benefit the Republicans. I think there will be a blowback against this. And I think that this is naked political weaponization of not only the FBI, but what we're seeing with the Inflation Reduction Bill, which everything that Congress passes is Orwellian. When it's named something like the American, if it's named the American Freedom Act, you know that it will impede freedom. If it is the American, Inflation Reduction Act, it will actually add to inflation. It is a weaponization of the FBI sprinkled with some Green New Deal in there.
Okay, so Sauce is back, and I mean, there's no Green New Deal.
IRS, I'm sorry.
Can you talk, Sauce?
Yes, can you hear me now? I can hear you
guys. God damn, thank God. I thought it was like crazy. I thought I was going crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my laptop. It's like, my goodness, it's like having Joe Biden try to fix my laptop doesn't work at all. But
look fat.
Hunter Biden is the laptop.
It's like having Joe Biden fix my laptop. It doesn't work, I know
exactly. I got it. Okay. If Hunter Biden had the laptop, it would be somewhere else. Okay.
Yeah, or there'd be porn videos on there too. I don't know. Might have been virus. Okay, so here's why I think. Okay, I think.
Yes, please.
Okay, so with the FBI, if you're really for, I'm all for defunding the FBI and defunding the IRS. Why are we giving $80 billion to the IRS to go after what innocent people that can't make it, that work from paycheck to paycheck? I mean, let's give me a break. And not only that, but there's an IRS court, revenue court now. Now that's different from your Supreme Court because that's different from your regular court system. So the fact that what Joe Biden did and his administration, the fact that he armed the administration for revenue sources is that they have unleashed anybody at, if you make over $600, all right, if you're self-employed, or if you are through PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, and you're a business and you bring in over $600, you are automatically you'll probably be one of the top 325,119 people that are going to be audited during that year, and furthermore, as of next year, all taxes are going to go up by $348. Now you're talking about promise saying, hey, I want to lower taxes because I care about you guys. If you make under $400,000, you don't have to worry about it. Why don't you cry me a river and stop funding and stop bells and like giving money to Elon Musk so he can build electric power cars or whatever it's called.
So I think everybody on this panel knows that this guy's a liar. He doesn't believe a goddamn thing he says. He's a bigger liar than Trump ever was. They used to count Trump's lies on CNN. Remember that?
Yes.
Cuomo had a whole segment. This guy doesn't ever tell the truth. He never does. In fact, I'm starting to realize that I can know the truth by what Joe Biden says. If he says something, it's the exact opposite of it. And that's the truth. So it's hilarious because he actually tells me the truth because he's such a liar. But
and now that he shakes with invisible people.
That's
the thing. I don't think it's him. It's not him that's writing these lies. He doesn't know what he's saying.
Yes, he does, bro. See, you're giving him way too much. There's something inside of us guys that's saying, "Oh, this man is just dementia riddled," and he is dementia riddled, but he is still a politician, and that politician has been. I mean, he's seasoned in lying, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He's built the relationships to be the president, bro. To be the president, you have to be the most disgusting, the most scumbaggish guy, and that's why Trump was president. Trump, though, was an idiot because guess what Trump did? Trump he appointed Michael Ray after Comey. Trump literally he chose the dog that's now attacking him. And that's hilarious to me. Now I've got all of these save him. Mar-a-Lago. I mean, come on, guys. Do you feel bad for this guy? That's my question. Do you feel bad for Donald Trump at all? Because the dog's biting his hand?
Well, at the same time,
I don't feel bad. I'm sorry.
No sidestepping. I asked a specific question. Do you feel bad for the guy? Yes or no? Do you?
No.
Good. Thank you. Sauce, why aren't you saying anything?
I do feel bad for him.
Why? Why? I want to know, please.
Oh.
I want to know.
Who's this directed to? Towards me or towards BJ?
Well, he said no, so you said yes, and so I want to know why.
Okay, here's the whole thing, okay?
Yeah.
Here's why I feel bad for him. All right.
Yeah.
I don't mind for instance, I don't mind if he's at his office. All right. Like what they did to Marjorie Taylor Greene, where they locked her out of her office. All right. That's where she works at. All right. But this is a private residence where people live at, and where you can't be like, this is where a private residence where you
but you reap what you sow. Is that what you say in the Bible? This guy appointed the guy. This guy didn't get out of Syria or Iraq. This guy let them have all the clearance that they needed. This guy gave them the means and the weapons to do what they're doing now. So, still, I mean, like you reap what you sow. Isn't that what they say in the Bible? So I don't understand.
But at the same time, you look at so the FBI and stuff, they're instructed by the court system. Okay,
No,
look at who's in charge
allegedly.
of the court
Allegedly.
Allegedly, they have to have a search warrant from a court district. But look at
have they shown it? They don't. They don't have one. I'm sure they don't.
The warrant from the court system.
Yeah, I don't. Have you seen it? Because I've been.
Yes, I've seen it. I have it in my PDF. I have
They
it
do.
on my Google Drive.
Okay, could you email it to me? Because I thought they were lying. Because I think they're liars too. The federal investigation. They talked about how it was classified for a bit. So in the Insider, I read in the Insider. They said it was classified.
Well, how's it on my computer drive? How's it on my computer? I sent a screenshot of it. It's 44 pages long.
Okay.
They're proven liars, but
thank you, Sauce.
We know the judge that signed the warrant, and this judge covered in the past for Jeffrey Epstein and let Jeffrey Epstein off of his investigation. Jeffrey Epstein had been investigated by the FBI, and a lot of that disappeared.
It did. But you feel bad for him. So I see it here. The Republicans, Marjorie Taylor Greene, talking about defund the FBI. I think they're going to benefit from this because now they have they're an underdog, right? So that's why Biden's poll numbers have gone to 40%. You saw that in the CNBC poll. People are actually starting to feel bad for this guy. So I mean, what's going to happen to the Trump DeSantis ticket? I don't really know. I don't really know what you guys see, or what not you, Sauce, but what anybody sees in any of these guys, much less DeSantis. They're all speaking nonsense. So, the bigger problem is what we're talking about right now, and that's the Federal Bureau of Investigation And I don't trust. I mean, they're literally they're dogs off the leash with Biden. So I'm pretty sure that's why the Hunter thing go. The Hunter thing, he was being investigated. You heard anything about that? No, they're raiding Trump's house. What is that crackling? That's bothering me now. You hear that?
Yeah, that's bothering me too.
Yeah.
I don't
Hey, God.
think it's me, but I'm happy to take the blame for it.
Okay, well, does taking the blame for it? Only if your politician is taking the blame for it, like, fix the problem. Let me see what's up. Okay. So, do I hear it still? Yes.
I apologize.
You. Is it me?
Hello? Hey, can you hear me now, BJ?
Yeah, I don't hear the crackling anymore. Oh, now it's back.
Do you hear it?
Wonderful.
Do you hear it? Okay, so literally now I'm starting to fucking feel like the FBI is listening because I pretty much telegraphed this. Aw, it's Sauce. Aw, poor guy. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for you, bro. It was just science. I trusted the science, bro. I trusted the science, and it's you, bro. You're the distinct minority. You're the distinct minority that's making this happen. You're the super predator, bro. Sauce, you're a super predator, man. I have to let you go. Sauce has no conscience, no empathy. I don't know how he got that way, but we have to bring him to heel. He is. Who thought?
Yeah,
bring this guy to heel.
I'm the son of a pastor, so I really wanted to speak with him. I wanted to connect with him.
Yeah, I do too. Sauce is the kind of Christian that I like. Sauce has principles and values, and he's actually a nice guy. I never once heard him. I'm gay, and I've never once heard him saying I'm going to electrocute you or do anything like that. So I like the guy. But you're crackling, bro. You're crackling.
I don't know what.
Son of Adam.
Yeah, if I wanted to electrocute you, it would have nothing to do with your sexuality. I just want you to know that.
Oh, thanks, man. That's the first time I've ever heard that before. Well, because I'm black? Is it because I'm black?
It's not because you're black. I'm just saying, if it does get to that point, it has nothing to do with your sexuality. It has nothing
you know what,
to do
PJ,
with
you're one of the... PJ, that's the, like, you want to say that in relationships? Did you say that on the first date? If I want to electrocute you, it would be because of that. Haha, I'm just kidding. Because that's not very romantic, just so you know.
I've been married for a very, very long time, so I don't remember what I said on the first date.
So she thinks you're funny when you're being homicidal. That's cool. Sauce, we have to fix the problem. We can't be Democrats and Republicans. We have to figure this out, bro. We have to come together for the common good. But I need you on the show, though. I have so many questions to ask you. So, Sauce, I'm going to pray for you, bro. Thoughts and prayers. But, hey, come back on. Hey, come back on. Try to come back on. Try to restart. Come back on and see what happens. Guys, it's all good. We're Americans and we're fixing our problems. See, if I was a Democrat, all I do is say that he was a racist or a sexist or he grabs a woman by the pussy. And then we'd just be so busy fighting that they would pass these Inflation Reduction Acts that give subsidies to their pharmaceutical companies. And we would be taking their stupid 64% ethical vaccines if I was a fucking Democrat or Republican, right? But honestly, that doesn't help. It doesn't help get rid of COVID to take a 64% accurate vaccine. Doesn't help us. It really doesn't. Nothing they do helps us. Just so y'all know. That's why I look at these bills. Every time they say it's bipartisan, y'all see my pre-video? Every time something's bipartisan, that means that they've come together to rob us together.
Absolutely.
The only time they didn't rob us, guys, was the COVID relief bill. Mitch McConnell was so pissed that they went and robbed us without the Republicans. You'll never fucking do that again. He had to literally appoint pro-life judges, guys, just to get Mitch McConnell back on his side. Mitch McConnell was so butthurt about that COVID relief bill, bro. So, like,
yeah, you don't want
Joe Biden. Yeah, I'm
talking about all the time. You don't want anything bipartisan. You want these guys fighting. You want chaos between them. You want them to get nothing done. If
yes,
all possible.
That's better. Yeah, it's better than what they're doing.
Done is better than getting horrible things done.
It sucks because people, like, the media. That's the thing that's really the problem. They're even worse than the FBI because for some reason people trust these guys, even though they said there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They still turn on the CNN and they believe that, oh, this one-page summary of this inflation. It's going to help green energy. It's going to help healthcare. You go to this fucking bill, and there's nothing in there like that. It's all just tax cuts for their donors. But they believe it because the CNN said it's for healthcare and it's for green energy. And like literally, these people are so lazy. What is with that? So you're an intelligence person. I want to ask you some questions. Why are they so effective with this propaganda? How are they so effective with this?
You can ask me all the questions you want. I just have I reserve the right to be evasive, but I won't tell you any lies. Go ahead.
See, now you're talking like intelligence. Now you're talking like intelligence. But yeah, why is the propaganda so effective? How come they could just say there's weapons of mass destruction, then one day, and then the next day they don't say anything about weapons of mass destruction, and everybody still tunes in? What's up with that?
Because they control the narrative. People have a short attention span. It is extremely powerful to control a narrative, to control talking point, to control the media, and they influence whatever they influence what people talk to each other about. That's the thing about propaganda, is you just need to repeat it enough. You need to have a big enough microphone. You need to have a big enough platform. Dictators have said that throughout history. The truth is whatever we tell them the truth is.
So that's why the beauty of this country was our president of the United States was supposed to be a civil servant who was supposed to use his bully pulpit to whip votes, to do the American people's will, and make sure that that his party was going to actually do his agenda like FDR did. This president doesn't do that. He does the will of Jamie Dimon.
Okay.
It sucks.
Look at. So we probably have a disagreement that FDR.
Okay. Well, we can do. I just want to read SOSLAND's thing real quick. I found out why my audio is shitty. It's because the school Wi-Fi. Well, Sauce, I need you to come back, bro, because like you're an important, integral part of this, and you're pretty smart, and I like talking to you. So find a way, bro. Find a way. Ask Jesus. Ask Jesus to fix your Wi-Fi, okay? See, I'm gonna make fun of Christians all day until you prove me wrong, bro. Huh?
Let's explore the comment you just made about FDR.
Yeah, I will. Let's do that. Now. So let's do that now. Let's do business.
Americans of Japanese descent in war camps. He burned crops and he stole a bunch of private gold.
Yes.
That goes back to the bipartisan thing we were just talking about.
There was no bipartisan. The Republicans were destroyed.
Right.
He destroyed his enemies.
But you had one person making the decisions. You had one person that had most of the power, and that is
most of the power because he grabbed the power, not because he grabbed power. Because we thought he was a celebrity.
And every that grabbed power until we are to where we are today. The president now has more power than a guy like George Washington could even imagine.
How so?
The president
How so?
can essentially do whatever he wants. The president
he can't do a god. Okay, see, this president can't do anything. So
he can preemptively send troops to anywhere on the planet. He can write an executive order, sign an executive order, doing pretty much whatever he wants.
Why do you think that
is? What's that?
Why do you think that is?
Because every successive FDR has grabbed more and more and more power unto themselves, and Congress has advocated more and more power.
Correct. You know why? That is right, because we're supposed to be promoting the general welfare. We, the people of the United States, we're not. We're giving them
Well,
the
the general
power.
welfare also,
And they're giving the power to their leaders. And their leaders are giving the power to Jamie Dimon. So it's all just a funneling. That's why we call it, that's why progressives, we call it a funneling of the wealth and extraction of our labor. Is because that's what they're doing. We're releasing our power of labor. We're giving the right to work laws. We're letting them do whatever we can to divide us. Socialized medicine, that's going to be the thing that you turn your kids into the FBI about. They were at the insurrection. So we give the power to them, the Congress, to make the laws. They give their power to their leader, the party leader, and he in turn gives it to his donors, Jamie Dimon and Jeff Bezos. And so the thing that I would say is that we should stop voting for Democrats and Republicans, and that whole problem would disappear. What do you think about that? Then they would stop grabbing power because we would grab it back, right?
Yeah, I think the problem isn't just Democrats and Republicans. That is kind of the tip of the iceberg issue, but it's the fact that they have this power to begin with, that they have this authority to begin with. The entire hierarchy is the problem. I think the entire system, anything that looks like a democratic republic, has disappeared a long time ago. We talk about democracy, democratic institutions.
Let's hold people responsible for that, because we still have a constitution that says exactly what it said in 1776. This is a conversation I want to have with you. So a constitution that says exactly what it says, that all men are created equal, endowed with inalienable rights. It says that we promote the general welfare, establish security. It says that these people are doing unconstitutional things. So why is it they're grabbing power and they have no consequences? Who is not?
The Constitution is a piece of paper.
The Constitution is a piece of paper. Yes, exactly. Who gave that piece of paper?
They ignored the Constitution.
Oh, go ahead.
They have. I mean, we have. Read the Fourth Amendment and look at everything that Edward Snowden had revealed to the American people, and Julian Assange had revealed to the American people. We have the Fourth Amendment the way it was written in 1776. They've just ignored it. It's still there. It's not stopping anything.
They ignore it because why? Because we will not hold them responsible. We're supposed to, PJ, we're supposed to vote them out, but we don't, because we're Republicans and Democrats too, and that's the problem. The problem is us. That's the problem. The problem is us. We're letting it happen. Our founding fathers didn't. They literally threw tea in a harbor. Remember? They threw rocks at fucking redcoats. They instigated all kinds of shit. We don't. We turned our own family members into the FBI, and that's why it's happening, because of us.
Correct.
So let's just say that, because we people need to know and be self-aware that the whole reason this is happening is because of us. It's not because of them. They're just puppets. They're supposed to be our puppets, but they're not, because we don't really, we let them have it. Puppets need a master. That's what this country was intended to have. This country was intended for them to be our servants and for us to govern as people, free people. But since we stopped, they went to Jamie Dimon and Jeff Bezos. So that's why in my show I try to motivate people, and that's why I want to know why that propaganda works so good, because I want to try to duplicate it for positive things. You think I could duplicate it for positive reasons? This propaganda thing, I want to know how it works, bro. Do I relate to your mother, or just?
I wrote a book on propaganda.
Minor.
Huh? But I wrote a book on just the way different intelligence agencies throughout the years have used propaganda.
Right.
This is
I know. I saw
something
that. I saw that.
Is documented. We know how, and it was really just a publishing of different intelligence manuals. So I don't even own the copyright to that book. So but it sells a copy. I make 99 cents. So don't bother buying that book unless.
But I need to know
want
to duplicate this shit.
Yeah, unless you want to see it. Like I said, I'm going to give it to you for free. All of this
okay, good.
has
I need to read it.
been codified a very long time ago. This propaganda had been codified since before the United States was ever dreamt of. The tactics have not changed. The tactics that are used nowadays were being used before the Russian Revolution and during the Russian Revolution. I don't know where some of it had started, but the Cheka during the Russian Revolution and the Russian Revolution was using the exact same tactics that they are using right now. The FBI, when the FBI raids Mar-a-Lago, it absolutely is to throw some dirt on Trump to stop him from ever running again.
So I hear that. I hear that argument. So, but that leads me to the motivation. See, I'm a leftist, so I'm very empathetic, and I want to know the motivations behind people. And I don't understand the motivation of them not wanting Trump to run. They made so much money on Trump. They made so much money on him.
The motivation. There are twofold. It's really not about Trump. It is a tactic that was really used very well by the Eastern and Stasi. So Trump's a wild card. They can't control Trump. They don't know what Trump will do at any given time. One of my biggest complaints about Trump is this whole drain the swamp thing. He didn't drain the swamp. He expanded the swamp, and now the swamp is coming after him.
He didn't. I don't think he's a wild card. I agree with you, but I don't think he's doing any of it on purpose. That's why I go back to the doctorate thing. You know, they all the philosophy, governing philosophy. He didn't. He appointed John Bolton. He appointed Steve Mnuchin to the Treasury. This guy appointed his own fucking FBI guy who's now attacking him.
Correct.
So clearly Trump is a fucking idiot to me. If he's gonna put all of his enemies in his cabinet, he must be a fucking moron. And so that's what did him in.
Like Trump, that's been very, very, very successful. It is very, very smart in certain areas, and you can be extremely smart in certain areas and be a complete idiot in many other areas. But when you get that big of an ego, you don't know you're an idiot in
that's true.
Other areas.
You nailed it.
Confirmation bias is legendary. The intelligence community talks about it all the time.
Yeah, they don't. They really don't like him. I like that though. That's interesting, right? Because they were trying to get him. You remember Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, the FBI agents who were caught on the phone, saying we're not going to let this happen. They literally didn't want him to run from the beginning. These FBI people.
Correct.
There's something going on there.
There's a
war. There's a war going on.
Of that establishment.
Okay. What establishment then? Is there a different establishment in Florida? Probably.
No, the establishment
geriatrics
is the FBI, the CIA. What they and Trump did not coin the term the deep state. It was around a long time before him. The establishment in Washington that involves the military-industrial complex, involves the law enforcement. See, there are people who are employees of the government, long-time employees, who are just employees. They don't have a political party. No one votes for them, but they wield incredible power, and they know they wield incredible power. And so those people with a bunch of different lobbies and big pharma, the military-industrial complex, everything that we saw with COVID and everything seeing with Ukraine, it's all just part of a system. It's all just part of an establishment. And Trump was not a creature of that establishment. And so as much as you might not like the guy, they could not control them. Back to what I was saying about the Stasi. So the Stasi had a lot less manpower than people thought. So they needed to rely on fear, and they needed to rely on citizens turning against other citizens out of that fear. And the rumors that the Stasi was everywhere. So when you raid Trump and you show people that not even Donald Trump is immune from the FBI, not even he is above their reach, not even he's above the reach of the United States government.
So is that your
which
motivation?
Really is, yes.
Is that your motivation? Is that your motivation?
To scare the next person who has the potential to be Donald Trump. The next person, not of the establishment, yes.
Is that your motivation for the Archangel Protective Intelligence?
Is what my motivation.
To stop these guys, because you're not working with them. So
no.
So what's your motivation? What's your motivation?
To do some good and make some money. It's a very simple motivation.
Okay.
I've trained a lot of people in how to defend themselves. I've trained a lot of people in how to apply intelligence to their daily life. That's what my books are about. That's what my online courses are about, is empowering people. I've worked with many different women who were being stalked or who were in relationships that they were afraid to get out of. That kind of stuff is my motivation. I can do good on a very individual level, but I don't have that kind of political power. Now, there are definitely things that I have done, during the COVID lockdowns, and some of the groups that I have worked with and created that have bothered the political establishment. But I'm an ant on an elephant's back as far as that's concerned.
Well, I mean, it sounds like your motivation is to do good, and if you're helping people in horrible situations, that's way better than what the FBI is doing. So I really appreciate how somebody has those skills and is doing good with those skills, and not overthrowing countries or fucking curtailing leftists or blackmailing Martin Luther King. You actually helping people that are marginalized. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your blog.
I'm a Christian. That's my motivation.
It looks great. You're a Christian?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's my
motivation.
So
another one of them. Well, good. Maybe I can talk to you about this.
I'm an anarchist.
What's your motivation?
That Tolstoy was an anarchist.
Who?
Leo Tolstoy.
I don't know him. I don't know. Who's that?
What?
No.
He was. You would like him because he was a big lefty. I'm not a lefty, but I don't consider myself right either. But he was the most famous Christian anarchist. He did not believe in the state at all. He believed in doing good on a personal level, and I believe in doing good on a personal level. I think that if we can do things to make people safer and enrich people's lives and help people on our own, we don't need the state for anything.
I don't know, bro. I think that's something it sounds really Jesus-y to me. Like, You know what happened to him, so I don't really know if you. But I'm looking at your book. It's on Amazon or Kindle. I don't have a Kindle, but it's called Amateur Espionage: Spy Skills for Daily Life, and it's pretty affordable, guys. Huh? It's not.
Yeah,
that's your book.
One. I'll send you a free copy.
I would really like to read it, man, because I kind of need those skills. I'm trying to get to that area because I'm very smart. You're right. You can be very smart in certain places. I don't know a lot in other places. And also, I have an emotional thing where if I see people being wronged or me clearly getting defrauded by two parties, I get angry and start cussing. And then people, why am I wearing a tie? Do I want to wear a tie, or do people respect you more if you wear a tie? So this is all a game that I hate, but you got to play it to, I guess, get people's attention and save them from themselves. So
yeah, that is something we have in common. I guess in a lot of areas, I lean left, and there are certain areas that I probably lean to the right of you. But I care about empathy. I care about the common person. I care about the little person, and I think sometimes it is a right-leaning government that crushes the little guy. Sometimes the left-leaning government that crushes the little guy. I really believe in. Do you know what horseshoe theory is?
Well, Christian theory? Did you say that?
Horseshoe theory.
No, I don't know that. What is this?
So the right and the left are at the ends of the horseshoes, right? Once you go far enough right or far enough left, the horseshoe almost meets.
I've heard. Okay, Doc Burgess talks about that. Okay, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, the right
I agree.
and the left are just two wings of the same bird.
We are, and we're supposed to work together for the common good. So that goes back to my whole thing, PJ. Is there's two reasons. There's two reasons.
What I meant is the left and right wing political establishments are just two wings on a horrific bird that is.
So see, I have to disagree with you there, because these two parties are not any kind of wing. They're only money. They're only I want. That's not right or left. Like you just said, there's a horseshoe, and we have different ideals of perspectives, different ways to say bird. These guys all want the same thing. My donors need this. I will give it to them. That's what they do.
I don't think we're disagreeing.
Who campaigns? So that's not ideology. That's not ideology. That's just corruption. So that's what, don't you think? We really have to represent some kind of values and principles in this country. And if you're gonna fucking talk about how something's a right or left, or if you're talking about how you're Christian, I'm gonna expect you to be Christ-like, right? If they're left wing, I expect them to be left-like. They're not. They're not giving minimum wages out. They're not giving socialized medicine. They're not fucking imprisoning. We have the biggest penal colony in the world. They're not doing even conservative things. George W. Bush, he bailed out Wall Street. What do conservatives say? Free market. The winners. We don't pick winners or losers. George W. Bush, compassionate conservative, picks winners or losers. When am I going to find out what conservative is? When am I going to find out what left wing is?
I define conservative more than I do liberal, progressive. Because what are you trying to?
Whatever you like to be. I'm just saying these people are nothing. They're nothing but greedy. They're not left or right. They're just greedy. So they make us pretend that that's the propaganda right there. Is they make us think that they're left or right. They're nothing. It's like an act. It's a show. It's a show. They pretend to be us. Is that how they relate to us? Is that how the propaganda works? They take our principles and they mock them and pretend to be us, and we all fighting about it. It's interesting. I can't stop thinking about this stuff, PJ. How it works, because I read their bills and they're not right wing or they're not left wing. It's all just for Jamie Dimon and Bezos. It makes me sick, bro. Makes me sick. So yeah. I need to read your book, bro. We need to get some of your skills, because I'm going to be a lethal threat to these guys. Our founding fathers would have tarred and feathered these guys a long time ago. We're not because we're lazy. So okay, we got to get people off of their ass. If it takes propaganda or a tie, I'll do it. I give a shit. I'm tired of them. But PJ, it was good having you on the show. You need to come back. And
Thank you for
Mike was a little choppy today, bro. I'm learning a lot from everybody that's coming on the show, but I'm really interested in you. You say a lot of really amazing things that I haven't thought about. You're very psychological. So come back with a better mic, and I'm gonna read your book, bro. We're out of time today. We went over 15 minutes. I'm glad though. I'm glad I learned some stuff, guys. Do you have any last words to say? Where can they find you, PJ?
Don't find me. You can look up my name. The Amazon Kindle books are street level spycraft, and the new one is amateur espionage. It's all part of the Archangel Intelligence series. You can find me on Udemy.com as well, teaching classes on a lot of different intelligence skills for self-defense, for influence, and I have an active shooter course as well there.
This lefty's probably gonna have to go actually shoot with you, bro. I think it's about time we got involved in some shooting or some tars and feathers, guys. This is Tommy Politics, guys. I'm sorry.
This is about surviving an active shooter situation. Not all.
I thought it was just preparing for our dystopian future if we continue to vote for the Democrats and Republicans. Because I think it's the Handmaid's Tale.
All the classes will help you prepare for a dystopian future.
All right, good. I'm glad there's a class, bro. I'm in. Guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. Be free thinking, innovative, open-minded. And don't forget, this was Tommy Nation Tuesday. We're here every 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all be the change.